Hey, hello everybody, this is Purge, bringing you guys a bit of a overview of the new patch. I've been able to play about 20 or so games since the latest update, and I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts and just kind of go over a couple of things that have worked out since then. I know I haven't done very much commentary in the last couple of videos, it's all been like stream videos, so I figured this should give you guys some good examples of basics playing anti-mage so that I can blink everywhere.
All magic flies before me.
I just kind of want to go over lots of things that shouldn't take too much time, but should give us a pretty okay overview about all the changes and things like that. So I really would like to also...
What need have I for such a blade?
So now I can blink twice. Okay, so first things first, buy a bunch of items because it's fun. Gotta enable cheats, by the way, to do this. Is there any other way to be faster than forgetting about drum? Alright, nice. Perfect. Okay, first things first. So, things that have changed. The creep equilibrium is a bit different now. It meets about here, I believe. We'll see that in just a second. We've got about 40 seconds left to go show you guys about how to block. But creep equilibrium is quite a bit different, and this changes a lot of things. First of all, your offlane has a much better chance of getting EXP. Blocking is not as important as it was in the past, though it does have some importance for both lanes now, not just one. So that's pretty good. And also EXP is now shared based on neutral creep. So if your opponent's supports are actually pulling well, you can still get decent EXP as an offlane support, or as an offlane. So this changes how the game works in a couple different ways, but mostly that it makes the possibility of dual lanes more effective. So dual laning in pubs now feels completely normal, where in the past that was like a weird thing. You're like, why the hell am I doing a dual offlane? If you do a dual offlane, I strongly recommend that you focus on doing something a little more aggressive. I'll talk about that in a second. So the creeps are really fast right now, and they are going to be fast for about until here, I believe, and then they get slow, or here. And in a second, they will be slow, I promise. Alright, there they are. They're slow finally. So this is about where you can block more easily. It's a little hard for me to block right now because I'm max movement speed, but you generally do want to block on the safe lane. It's pretty important to do this, so you guys should adjust your play to this. You should also block on the offlane. So if I didn't block this at all, the creep wave would have been like right here, which is perfect for the offlaner. I think that is a really good place to be for him. So not bad at all for that. Creeps are going to spawn in 30 seconds. There's now a small camp here instead of a regular camp, so the pulling in this gets a little different. I'm doing this based on visual cues because that's how I always do my pulls. I pulled this a little late, but it still worked out. Pulled the range, creep hits in. You actually... Ooh, shit, I don't have a tango. Let's see how fast I can do this.
The path is clear.
Thank God for cheating, right, guys? Oh god, I can't find it. I did it.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
I'm gonna be late. Come on. Damn it, I was late. Yes. Okay. Well, I suck. Alright, a little harder now. Alright, important things about pulling. The thing that you guys need to know, basically, is this respawn them.
Your top tower is under attack.
Neutrals. Okay, so pulling is a little bit harder now. There's a couple things to keep in mind. The small creeps, it's probably not worth stacking them before you pull them. In my opinion, pulling through is by far more effective. I think you should always pull through when you do the small camp. Now, I don't think you should stack it first. Some of the small camps can kill the regular creeps. In fact, any creeps that do piercing-based damage, not something you guys can easily check. That's more just like something you know from Dota 1. But usually, if it's a ranged attack, it's probably piercing. So these troll guys have piercing damage. This kobold guy does normal damage, and now I'm just kind of looking at the HP totals to know when I need to pull. Now, you can't always be greedy on that last creep. It's actually pretty important to not be greedy on him, because oftentimes it's more important to make sure that the pull-through goes. So this is what I've done. All of a sudden, I pull the creeps through. This is going to guarantee me 2 camps of EXP instead of just 1 camp of EXP. And usually, 2 camps of EXP is going to be enough for getting you all the last hits and all the good stuff. So I should be able to kill both waves. I should be able to get the last hits on all this, and it's not going to cost me too much. And the important reason that it's very smart to do this, and another thing you can do, by the way, is actually do this bit. I'm going to cheat a little bit by blinking, but pulling the creeps through again. And now I've got 3 waves. So this is one reason that the Radiant team has a slight pulling advantage here, is because you can actually do 3 camps like this. So if you do auto attack, you can do 3 camps in a row, and you have a chance of getting 3 neutral camps of EXP with the creep wave, rather than just 1. Obviously this isn't exactly correct because I'm cheating and I have tons of items already, which give me an unfair advantage, but don't be afraid to do this. Pull 3 all the way through, and pulling is just so much better than stacking by far, because now I can do this again. Look, I don't have to stack it first, and look, this creep's going to come back into the small camp anyway, so it's going to get denied for sure. Although this might mess up my, yeah, it's going to mess up my pull, but you just can kind of do this rinse repeat. Pulling 3 is by far the most important thing you can do as a support now. Stacking is not worth it. It's like, stacking is like the noob's way to very, very easily guarantee that it works, but all you have to do is practice it a little bit, and things are going to work out. And again, the way that I do this is something Fluff told me a while ago. You just wait to see until this net of HP is around 400, 500, something like that. In this case, I only pulled 2 of the creeps, so it's going to change the timing a lot, and you guys have to be very aware of that difference. So, for example, I'm going to wait till this guy's left, and then I'm going to pull. Like right now, I'm going to pull. I'm actually going to be a little late here, but yeah, somewhere between like 300 to 400. Let's say, I bet you could guesstimate that if you have a full creep wave, it's about 400 to 500. But if you only have 2 creeps, it's about, what, 300, something like that. Maybe a little bit less. There was a catapult there as well, so that messed things up. So, that's basically all you need to know about pulling. You can do the same thing on the dire side. In fact, I could... Oops, I am doing this too early. I guess I'm going to mess up this pull, I think, as a result. Let's watch this. Nope, didn't. I disjointed it, so it didn't work. I should have ran with it. Alright, so I missed that one. So pulling's really important. Just pull through. That's the best thing you can do now. You can still jungle, you can still pull, but it's not necessarily as good as it is before. And as well, the offlane hero can very oftentimes contest it, because as soon as this creep wave disappears, as soon as their creep wave goes under tower, they say, okay, they're pulling, obviously, he can come stand right here, and any neutral creep or regular creep that dies here, he will get experience for. So regardless of, he basically can't be denied anymore in terms of all EXP, just based on solid pulling. So that's something you're going to have to adjust your play to, is you have to be more aware of this. And also, as a result, something that I like doing now in terms of a support hero, and I've done this 1 or 2 games and it felt really good to me, but I bought Observer Wards, and my first ward at the start of the game as a support, I put it right here.
The path is clear.
And then I saved my second one. If it's only a solo offlane, this is completely fine, because you don't really have to worry about them too much. But what I did is, as soon as it hit 4 minutes, which is the first nighttime, I wanted to protect my carry, so I put my Observer Ward right here. And around 4 minutes, your mid hero is going to be not at level 6 yet, he'll be at like level 4, level 5, but TPs and ganks on your safe lane carry are pretty common. So if you delay this ward by a little bit and you put it down at 4 minutes, it's going to cover you for the entire first nighttime, which lasts for 4 minutes, and it's going to cover you an extra 2 minutes on top of that. So a slight adjustment to your warding maybe is something you might want to do, especially if you're contested by a dual offlane. Maybe this ward isn't as important. It kind of comes down to your playstyle, but I really like this Observer Ward now, at least in the early laning stage, because it will cover those nighttime ganks that do end up happening now as a result of the change in nighttime and stuff. Don't get the skill build, by the way. I'm just doing this for whatever reason. Okay.
Yes.
Cast animation time's so slow. Okay, so that covers pulling, that covers early creep blocking. For the dire side, the creep blocking should be equivalent. You have to be quite careful. Let's get a heart so that I don't die doing anything on the other side.
Your bottom tower
Wait, I have to get that other item too. I'll just rebuy this later. Don't mind me, guys.
Onward.
Oh shoot. I want this. Okay, so now I'm a lot more survivable. Creep blocking from the dire side is about the same. That's not really important to look at. The dire pull camp is a little different though. So for example, I'm cheating a little bit because these creeps will actually aggro to me, but it's pretty much the same thing. You pull the camps over here. As this is about to die, you need to go to the other camp and pull it through. I'm going to wait till this is dead and this is full HP. Now again, I'm cheating because I can blink to this other camp, but I should be starting my pull about when that creep hits a little bit over. And if I'm a little early, I can just attack twice and completely mess everything up. But whatever, I still got it to work, right guys, because I'm cheating. We'll pull the camps together. Unfortunately for dire, you can only do this one camp. This is the only camp you can do, but you can deny the creeps very easily using this camp because this is actually a large camp instead of a medium camp. So that's the difference. This camp is more likely to kill the creeps, which is good. This camp is more likely just to net you some EXP until you pull it into this large camp. So pulling is still doable from both sides, whatever. Now this slightly changes how jungling works for a couple of heroes. A lot of heroes in the jungle, or at least weak junglers, will usually used to start on this camp, which was previously the small camp. Now that it's mud golems, things are a bit different. Mud golems, possibility, things like that. Lifestealer doesn't have to worry about this. Ursa doesn't have to worry about this very much because bigger creeps are generally a bit better. Like medium creeps are a bit better for those heroes to start off of because of Feast as well as Ursa's Fury Swipes. Not that those heroes should be jungling much, but it's still possible to jungle with those heroes. Chen and Enchantress are pretty much unchanged. Enigma is more or less unchanged. I used to always start at the small camp, but I don't really have to do that anymore. If this is a medium camp, I could start at a medium camp just fine. I can also do Dark Trolls or something like that with an Enigma if you really need to. There's a lot of options that you can do for jungling, so I don't think jungling is really that different on any of the standard actually good junglers. Batrider is definitely very different. You can't really jungle with Batrider as efficiently because in the past you would just kill small camp, stack large camp, kill small camp, stack large camp. And that's harder now. You can still kill small camp, but it's so much more HP that I haven't actually experimented with Batrider anymore, so I don't know. I did play a scrim recently where we just put the Batrider in the offlane. We legitimately put the Batrider in the offlane, and he sat there and he contested the lane and he got EXP and gold. So that's one trade-off. It's like, okay, well you can't jungle as well, but who cares? You can offlane now because the creep wave meets in a fairly safe location right here, which means you should be able to get experience and gold, and occasionally when this wave pushes up, you can actually stack and kill this camp, for example. So it does actually open up a lot more possibilities, though it does seem in some ways that it is pulling back on potential options, but I promise it is actually generally a really, really fun patch and makes things a bit different. So the only lane I haven't really talked about yet is the mid lane, so we can talk about small changes in the mid lane and just my opinions on how things are different here. They're pretty much the same on the mid lane. The difference is you can't bottle crow before 3 minutes, so picking a strong mid hero is pretty important. I think it's smart to do that. Pick a strong mid hero, don't just like pick somebody that you can rely on bottle crowing. If you get massively outlaned in your lane, then you're going to have a really bad time as well because, of course, you can't bottle crow pre 3 minutes. But the other benefit is that you can actually... what was I going to say? You can actually be a little more greedy with your couriers now. I almost got my courier sniped last night, but it got attacked once, and now that they have 75 HP, they didn't get killed in one shot, so I was pretty happy about that. So couriers are a bit more survivable than they were before. I haven't really experienced the Nature's Prophet just constantly ganking my courier yet, which is good, except for once it was flying, which wasn't that weird in my opinion. So I think that's about it. Mid lane's about the same. Rune control is pretty important. It does hit nighttime at 4 minutes, so you have to be careful about getting ganked by supports. For example, if all your creeps are in the middle and it's nighttime, you can't see over here, and then they can come gank you, something like that. So you have to be a little bit more careful about map vision and things like that. So I think that is just about it for this video. I covered all the basics, I think. Roshan is a little different, but not that different. Mostly I just wanted to talk about pulling, and because I've seen a couple comments on like Twitter and stuff like that where people are like, oh god, jungling is impossible now, or they screwed supports over, or like pulling is impossible, or pulling's harder, stacking doesn't work anymore. It's all fine. You just have to adjust your play to it. You have to pull through consistently. So go practice in a lobby. Do something like this. Like I've obviously been giving commentary this whole time, so I haven't been like playing as well as I could be in terms of pulling, but feel free to go in a private lobby like this by yourself, put cheats on, and practice pulling. And just do it a couple times until you have it down, and once you have that down, then you'll be good. So that will be what you guys should practice if you're worried about not being able to pull anymore. And by the way, if you're playing an offlane hero and somebody's about to connect the pull, by the way, so for example, if I'm about to pull this creep wave over down here, if you're the offlane hero, you stand right here and then attack this neutral to pull the creep aggro to the right. If you pull the creep aggro to the right, they won't meet up with the creeps right here, and then the pull will be failed. So that's another thing you can do as an offlane hero to counter this. So I think I don't really need to talk about anything else. That's most of the patch changes, so I hope you guys at least we'll go practice how to pull and stuff, because it's pretty important now, and I think that's it. I'm still going to upload a regular VOD because I have some more replays some more videos from my stream the other day that you guys might want to watch, so I'll just do both videos today. But I hope you guys learned a bit, and you can now adjust to the patch a bit more. So I'll bring you guys some more insights in a couple of days, probably. I've got a tournament coming up tomorrow. It's a very small LAN tournament at like a LAN cafe, and I think there is actually going to be a stream, so make sure to follow me on Facebook or Twitter, because I'll be sure to post about it while we're playing. It should be pretty easy. I'm playing with Aosin and Merlini. Merlini is our new mid now that Blitz left, and we're playing with 2 people that were at one of the first LANs we went to. Lumi can't play, I believe, and our other typical player is, who am I forgetting? Oh yeah, and Fluff can't play as well because he's going to Korea, I believe. So Fluff can't play and Lumi can't play, so we have 2 stand-ins basically is what's happening. So it should be fine though, and yeah, I think that's it. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.